This time of year, we're so used to saying happy holidays or wishing each other a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah. But what about a Harabi Gani? That is the Swahili greeting for having a blessed Kwanzaa. And how much do you actually really even know about Kwanzaa? Well, I'm here to help you because I've got a story here with the history, the symbols, and the meanings for you to have a wonderful Kwanzaa.
We have all seen the colors. The red, which represents the blood that was shed. The green, which represents the richness of the motherland. And the black, which stands for the people.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Many have even heard the word Kwanzaa. But do you really know what it's all about and why it's celebrated?
I like the miasi.
Well, here's a quick tutorial to help round out your celebrations during the month of December. Kwanzaa started with an idea.
Well, the word Kwanzaa itself, it means first fruits.
By Dr. Mulana Karenga, as a way to help empower African Americans in the 1960s looking to rediscover and celebrate African heritage.
So when the Kwanzaa came about in the United States, it was a way for African American people to reach back to their African roots and traditions.
From there, 7 principles were developed, bringing in Swahili words connecting this new tradition with the old.
All of the principles and traditions in Kwanzaa relate back to the mother country, Africa.
The first principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the only black candle, umoja, or unity.
It's about community, nation, family.
The second principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the first red candle, kujuja kujulia, or self-determination.
The ability to define ourselves.
What does that mean?
Self-determination.
The third principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the first green candle, ujima, or collective work.
Ujima is more of a collective. It refers to the collective works and responsibilities of the individual and the community.
The fourth principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the next red candle, ujama, or Cooperative Economics.
About the economics of Kwanzaa, how the community invest and reinvest in itself.
The fifth principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the next green candle, nia, or purpose.
It's about greatness, purpose, peacefulness.
The sixth principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the last red candle, kumba, or creativity.
In Kumba, it's one of my favorites because as an artist, it's about creativity.
And the seventh and final principle of Kwanzaa, represented by the lighting of the last green candle, imani, or faith.
If there was anyone that you could kind of attribute to some type of religious faith base, would be imani, because it's about faith, but not necessarily faith in a deity. It's about belief in our hearts, belief in the community, belief in the principles.
According to Whit Whitaker, executive director of the Lyric, these principles should not be reserved for the last days of the calendar year, but celebrated all year and often. And he says while it was born out of the African American experience, it is something everyone can benefit from.
Kwanzaa is culturally based. And yes, even though it centers us and pulls from an African tradition, the culture and the principles and how you enact the principles themselves are not specific to skin color or race.
But he says if more people don't start including this celebration in their holiday traditions, there is a danger it will disappear.
These are traditions that the family sits down, talks about, immerses themselves. It's about the engagement so that the children understand. And if you lose these ancestral traditions, these historic traditions, it's going to be very hard to recapture them.
Making it even more important that we all take time to appreciate the first fruits of life.
Harabi Gami. To you, Mr. Whitaker. If you're interested in learning more about it, I encourage you to come down to the Lyric here in the heart of Lexington. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect from the session that's going to start on the 26th of December.
Well, what they can expect is to come down here, and we will start off with showing the film The Black Candle. The Black Candle will tell a history of Kwanzaa, the meanings and the symbol. And then our guest speaker, M.K. Asante, who is also the filmmaker, activist, writer, He's going to be our guest speaker, and he will talk a little bit about his process of creating and talk about the film, and then talk a little bit about Kwanzaa, and then we will go through the Kwanzaa ceremony, explaining to people what the different symbols mean.
And then people can then hopefully take it back home and then carry it all the way to January 1st. And if you're interested in doing this, this is a free event to the public, but you do have to register online, the Lyric, so that they know that you're here and know, I guess, what to have in place for however many people will show up. If you're interested, just go to our website, lex18.com, and you'll be able to get a link. Covering the news live here in Lexington at the Lyric, Harabi Gami to everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays to all.